Hello. In today's lesson, I'm going to teach you the 4 futures. A lot of you know 2 futures, I think. A lot of you probably know will and going to. I'm going to teach you 2 more futures today and teach you how they're different from one another. So let's get started. The present continuous future. So the present continuous is when you have the be verb. I am, you are, he is, she is, they are, and we are, plus the verb and ing. For example, am, the verb, and ing. This is known as the present continuous. It's usually one of the first things you learn when you are studying English. So a lot of you know the present continuous and think, oh, present continuous, it's taking place now. You are right, but we can also use it to talk about the future. We use the present continuous to talk about a future event that is going to happen very, very soon. For example, if you ask me, what are you doing this weekend? I might say, I'm hanging out with my friend Josh this weekend. Or, I'm shopping this weekend. Or even, I'm studying this weekend. If you ask me, what are you doing tonight? Well, I want to be a good student, so I'm studying tonight. I'm studying tonight. What are you doing next week? Well, I'm working next week. So the present continuous is very, very common when we are talking about the future that's going to happen soon. Not a future that's 2,000 years from now or 50 years from now. No, that's the distant future. We are talking about a future that's going to happen in the next couple of days. So it's the very, very near future. We can also use the simple present to talk about the future. So the simple present is when you take a verb, and it's in the basic form. Usually, you add an S if it's third person singular. For example, I leave, you leave, he leaves, she leaves, they leave, we leave. So this is all simple present. In your classes, you probably learned we use the simple present when we talk about routines. But we can also use the simple present when we are talking about routines in the future. And by this, I mean timetables. We use this when we are talking about a scheduled event, something that is planned to happen in the future. So this usually has to do with when we are talking about transportation. Trains, airplanes. We can use this tense for that. We can also use it when we are talking about TV shows or restaurants opening and closing, or stores, when they open and close. So we use the simple present when we are thinking about a schedule or a timetable. Here are some examples. The last train leaves at 6 p.m. today. So 6 p.m. hasn't happened yet. It's in the future, but because this is a scheduled event, it's a timetable event. It's a schedule. We can use the simple present. Here's another example. The restaurant opens at 5 p.m. today. So this hasn't happened yet. Right now, it is 2 p.m. This will happen in the future, but still, I use the simple present because this is a schedule. Every day, the restaurant opens at 5 p.m. Here's a third example. I like watching TV. Imagine I like The Big Bang Theory. My TV show, The Big Bang Theory, starts at 4 p.m. So again, it's a routine. It's a schedule that takes place in the future, but it's still a schedule, so we can use the simple present here. All right, so these two, even though they are present tenses, can be used for the future. Now let's look at the 2 verbs we commonly use for the future, or we commonly think of as future verbs. Be going to, plus a verb and will. For example, I'm going to study, I'm going to sleep, you are going to watch a video. We use this when we are talking about the near future. It's similar to the present continuous. So it's not a future that's very, very far away. It's soon, but it's a future where we think something is going to happen and we have evidence that something is going to happen. For example, I'm going to study English next month in Canada. This means you probably have your ticket already bought. You are pretty sure about this. There's not a lot of confusion. This is almost certainly going to happen. So you are pretty sure about it. Another example? Imagine I watch the weather station, and the meteorologist has predicted the weather, but it's a very good prediction because we see these clouds in the sky. There's a lot of evidence it's going to rain. Because there's evidence, we could use this tense and say, it's going to rain all week. So it's in the near future, but it's based on some sort of evidence. This is likely to happen, and we are pretty sure it's going to happen. We have some evidence that makes us think it's going to happen. So this is a bit different from will, which is one of the easier futures to think about. We use will plus a verb. For example, I will always love you. I will study hard. I will do my taxes on time. We use will plus a verb when we are talking, first of all, about the far future. For example, in 50 years, everyone will speak Chinese. We also use it when we are not so sure about something. This is my prediction, but I don't have much evidence for it. I'm not very sure, so I use will because I'm not sure. Whereas if I'm very sure there's a lot of evidence and I know it's going to happen, I would use be going to. So with will, there's not a lot of evidence, and it's a prediction we don't have much evidence for. Another example. Aliens will invade Earth. In 25 years, aliens are coming. They will invade the Earth. We also use will when we are making promises. For example, if someone says, John, will you help me move this weekend? I will help you. It means I'm promising to help. Or maybe I don't really want to help the person. I might say, I won't help you. Won't is the negative form of will. So, I promise not to help. I don't know about your culture, but in Canadian culture, and in many Western cultures, for New Year's, we always make these resolutions. We think, when it's New Year's, when it's January 1st, we make some sort of promise to ourselves that we are never going to do something again, or we are going to start doing something. We normally use will for these. For example, maybe you have been spending too much time on your phone and you are thinking, I don't want to waste my time like this anymore. You might make a promise to yourself. I won't spend hours on my phone again. I will never waste my time like this again. Or maybe you want to stop smoking. I will never smoke again. I will never do this again. Maybe your parents are angry at you because, you did really bad on a test. You might say, I promise I will work harder. I will study harder. These are promises, and we use will for promises. Finally, we also use will for volunteering. When we want to volunteer for something or we want to offer our help, we can use will. For example, John, can you clean the dishes? I will do it. John, can you vacuum the floor? Sure, I will vacuum. Or, I will get the telephone. I will help you with your homework. I will help you learn English. I'm volunteering, and so I use I will. So just to recap, just to quickly go over everything, there are 4 futures I'm teaching you today. Present continuous can be used as the future if it's very soon. Simple present can be used for the future if it's a routine or schedule. We can use be going to if we are talking about the near future and some kind of plan or prediction we have evidence for. We are pretty certain it's going to happen. And then we can use will and a verb for the far future, for a promise, or when we want to volunteer for something. So there you have it. 4 futures. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this lesson helped you understand the different ways to talk about the future in English. If you found it useful, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming lessons. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.